So basically, the way these tariffs were instituted were that first this administration had a few emergencies proclamation through executive order, and then they used something called International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 to basically levy tariffs broadly through on the every country as well as specifically on each individual country. And what the administration did was that they were using these tariffs as leverage for trade deals with individual countries. So that was the basis. The emergencies were proclaimed, and then the powers under the act were used to impose these tariffs. What the Supreme Court did was to clarify that the President of the United States did not have the powers to impose new tariffs. It said that the power to impose new tariffs lies with the Congress of the United States and not with the President, and the President can only regulate a certain aspects of economic activity. So that is the background of how the tariffs came into effect in the first place and how they were removed by the Supreme Court. So the first would be, what would be the impact on the trade deals? The shorter answer is we do not know yet, because the Supreme Court, what it did was just take the tariffs away, and that is that they took the leverage away. But the trade deals had certain more aspects to it. For example, in the case of India, India promised to open the agriculture market for non-core items, and then it also promised to buy $500 billion of American goods in next 5 years. So the certain aspects of trade deal will stay in effect. And I think it would be in the benefit of, or it would be that would be an incentive for all the countries involved, including European Union, India, China, everybody who signed their trade deals with the United States to honor that, just so that there is more stability and there is more predictability and there is not negative reactions from this administration. So that would be the first thing. Second thing would be the refund process. That is one of the issue that the Supreme Court did not address. Even the president himself was very visibly annoyed by it, that there was no clarity on how the refund process is going to be managed. And this is, we are talking about more than 100 billion US dollars. Some estimates put it at 134 billion, some put it at 174 billions. But that is a lot of money to be given back, which is a very complicated process. So Indian importers who have fiduciary duties, the companies establisher who have fiduciary duties, will have to basically sue, file lawsuits and pursue litigation. So we do not know what will be the effect of the how this refund process would be managed. Third would be the investor confidence. I would say that because the new additional tariffs have already been imposed, because the Supreme Court did not take the power to tariff entirely away. It just took the power to tariff under one particular act of the Congress. So there are other ways in which the President of the United States can impose tariffs. They have already done it. They have imposed 10% on under Act of 1974, and there are various other sections under which you can start or basically levy the tariffs under different circumstances. So the world might get a little bit of unpredictability in the short term, because these tariffs can only stay for 150 days and there is a maximum limit of 15%. So what was happening before this was that there was a big whiplash in how the tariffs were imposed, from 10% to 50%, then going back to 25%. That would at least for next 150 days will stop, because after 150 days the president would need congressional approval to continue those tariffs. So there will be a short-term stability, but in the long term, we actually don't know what's going to happen.